Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Dungeons in the Attic podcast. Climb the stairs, take a seat, grab some dice. It's time to play some RPGs in the attic. I'm your host, DM Mike, and I'm here alone again, playing some solo RPGs. Today, we are continuing episode 5 of our Barrows and Borderlands adventure. Before we get started today, if you're enjoying the series, please like, subscribe, and comment below. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow and rate us. It does so much for us, for the algorithm, and we sincerely appreciate it. Also, if you're looking for some new minis, we got Eldritch Foundry. We're affiliated with them now. Get 15% off your entire custom order at eldritchfoundry.com. We are making these incredible minis right now for the continuation of our Season 2 campaign, and we're just so thrilled with them. They're going to be fully colored, fully customizable. You got to see what everybody's coming up with. It's really cool. I'm very excited. So just use our code ATTICDungeon. That's ATTIC Dungeon, DUNGEON, one word, at eldritchfoundry.com for 15% off your entire order. That's huge. We're also affiliated with Only Crits. So if you need some new dice, go to onlycrits.com. Check out the review we did for their runic illusionary dice. They sent Steve runic illusionary dice. They're so gorgeous. My God, you got to see the review for that. That is on our Instagram at DITA Podcast, DITA Podcast. But if you use our code DITA, you get 10% off at checkout. That's incredible. So all that's to say is if you really love us and you want to support us, you can. You can also go to our Patreon, and for less than a cup of coffee, the cost of a cup of coffee, I think it's $1.99, you can join and you can become a member of our Discord. And there's going to be games getting set up on there, a community building there, and we'd love to have you. So, and if you're part of the Patreon now, you'll be upgraded into the higher tier when we get to that higher tier, when we finally have enough content to offer for the higher tier. So yeah, get excited about that. So anyway, let's continue on. Let's move on. When we last left off, the party had escaped from the dungeon of Governor Ruckforth. And they're still in the Citadel, but they're somewhere underneath it. They've gone deeper into the dungeon. They found this like mysterious door covered in runes, this huge wooden door that seemed to almost be breathing. And they decided to stay away from it. It almost teleported Patrick P. Porkpie out of existence. So they quickly decided they were not going to be messing with that. They took the other route, which was a hall, and it was full of the stained glass windows that were all shattered. And behind them was like this abyss, this cold wind, this dark abyss. So it just got weirder and weirder. Some strange stuff is going on with physics and time here, dimensional space. And then they turn the corner and it's full of zombies. I think there were 3 zombies. And Patrick P. Porkpie takes up his new musket, his Excaligun, and he fires and it blows off a zombie's face. Blue light comes out of it. It's gorgeous and it always hits. So he feels like he should have missed, but he hit anyway. And it blew a chunk of a zombie's head off. And then Kalir, the mutant half-plant man, put the rest of them to sleep. And we argued that sleep should work on undead like this because his sleep is like spores. And that's the way I'm playing it. So again, if you have any, comments about rules or what you think could have been done differently, if you're a GM or a player that feels differently, let's talk about it. I'd love to chat with you in the comment section about rules. I love rules. I love house rules. I love by the book rules. I'd love to talk to you guys about any of this stuff. So let's do it. Let's have a little debate. All right. So we got to keep moving though, because we're not out of this dungeon. We got to get the heck out of here. All right, so first things first, we got to figure out what's beyond this hall. So we're going to roll on our Appendix A, random dungeon generation from the original Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Game Master's Manual from back in the day. And we're going to roll to see what is beyond this hall. They have like this table 1. It's a periodic check. So you roll D20 every roughly, 60, 30 feet, something like that. You just, every time you want to see what's ahead of you. So we're in a hallway, so we're going to roll D20 here and see what we get. Okay, 6. 6 gives us a side passage. Check again in 30 feet. So we've got a side passage and we have something ahead of us as well. So 30 feet of hallway in front of us and then a side passage to the right. Side passage, interesting. I'm not going to roll. There's other tables for rolling like the degree with which the side passage rotates, 90 degrees or if it's a T passage, things like that. We're going to keep it simple for this first dungeon. But there's a side passage here. So let's have some perception. Let's do like a listen roll or something. All right, so we're going to roll on our dungeon descriptors table here. We're going to roll twice and combine the results. Okay, result 1 is an 88. Okay, 88 gives us simple. Okay, so this is the side passage we're talking about. So simple and 92. That's going to give us stairs. So simple stairs. Okay, so stairs going down. Interesting. Do we know what they smell like? Can we get a smell here? There is a smell table here. All right, so we're going to roll on the smell table. Okay, first, we got a 78. 78 gives us rich. Rich. And combine that with 56 gives us moist. Rich and moist. Okay, to me, that smells like earthy almost, right? There's like a richness of the soil. You can smell like that deeper soil, that the kind that worms are like really writhing around in. So we're getting some sort of, I think some sort of outdoorsy smell coming from this this stairs going down. Now, what about going forward? What are we smelling here? 46. 46 gets us interesting. What else? Okay, 65 gives us odd. Interesting and odd. Okay, so I think he's smelling something sterile, like a lab, like embalming fluid, like chemicals you use to handle the dead, essentially. That's what I think Patrick is smelling. He's smelling something kind of awful going in the forward direction, and he's smelling something earthy going to the right. Now, what is our objective? Is our objective to explore this whole dungeon or get the hell out of here? If I'm Patrick and I smell something sterile and gross and odd coming from the passage going forward, I'm not going to want to go that way, especially if I'm trying to get out of here and I can smell what smells like earth, like a richness, like a naturalness, a sort of basically what smells like an exit. I want to get outside. So I think if I'm Patrick, I'm going to go to the right. Now, I'm also going to, is he going to have the wherewithal to check for traps? Or is he a little bit too jazzed up right now? So let's check his wisdom. We'll roll his wisdom. So Patrick has a wisdom of 9. I do think this is a wisdom roll. A 6. Great. All right. So we're going to pass, and he's going to check for traps. So we have a find or remove traps of 3 out of 6. So we roll D6, and we get 3 or less. Okay. Unfortunately, we rolled a 6, so that's not going to do it. So he's going to sort of, in his haste, kind of quickly look at the stairs. Maybe, who's got the light again? I believe... That's right. We don't have any light. So that's why he fails. So he just quickly looks at the stairs. He doesn't see anything. It's a little dark. And he sort of goes like, all right, this way. Come on. And so they're going to head down the stairs here. Now, is there a trap on the stairs? That's what I want to find out. Because he failed to spot it, if it's there. So we're going to go to our fate chart here. Things have been going a little weird for the chaos has gone up. I'm going to go chaos 6. All right, so at chaos 6, what is the likelihood that these stairs are trapped? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to go just under 50-50. I'm going to go unlikely, right? You would assume that most of this area would be pretty free and clear for people to be moving around. It just doesn't seem to me like the kind of place that Ruckforth and his minions would assume people would be able to get into. It looks like they were pretty confident they had the place under control. So you're supposed to phrase it actually in a way that's positive, right? You're supposed to be thinking about positivity towards the PCs. So I really shouldn't be saying, is it likely that the stairs are trapped? I should be saying, what's the likelihood that the stairs aren't trapped? And I'm going to go with likely, which gives me a 75 or less. So I have to roll a 75 or less for it to be likely that the stairs are not trapped. So here we go. Okay, 23. Yeah, so the stairs are not trapped. So we're going to move down the stairs slowly but surely. Now, heading down the stairs, not quite a turn yet, but then we're going to get to the bottom of these stairs. So the question becomes, is this actually leading to an exit? We got to figure it out. The chaos factor is going to stay at 6 for now because we haven't changed scenes. We're heading down these stairs. Is this a way out? Well, I find it hard to believe that it would just be directly the way out. I would assume that we've got a little bit more to go. So I'm going to say that it is, I'm going to say it's unlikely that this is the way out. I'm going to say it's very unlikely that this is the way out. Or that it is the way out, but it's not the direct exit. I'm going to say very unlikely. I think we have a little bit more to go here. I doubt that these stairs would lead directly outside. So very unlikely on Chaos 6 is a 35 or lower. I have to roll a 35 or lower for this to be a direct exit. Okay. 78, not a chance. Okay. So no, it is not a direct way out. So we're going to come to another chamber here. All right. So now we have to determine how far these stairs go. Usually these stairs would lead to dungeon levels, right? And each dungeon level increases in difficulty as you move down. Traditionally, as you move down, the dungeon gets harder. You get level 2 creatures on level 2, level 1 creatures on level 1, so on and so forth. So we're going to determine on table 6 here in Appendix A from the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide, where these stairs go. So, all right, we're going to roll a d20 here. Okay, we rolled a 2. 2 gives us down 1 level. Okay, manageable. So we're going down 1 level. And 1 in 20. So if I'm going to roll a d20 again. 1 in 20 has a door that closes for the rest of the day. So that's a little scary. You're sort of committing to it if we roll a 1. So here we go. 11. Not going to do it. Okay, so an 11. So a door does not close behind them as they step into this next area. All right, so now we're going to come to a new area, a new chamber. Let's roll for the chamber size here, D20. Everything's basically 20 on this. 19. That gives us an unusual shape and size. Okay, we're going to roll on the unusual shape and size chart here. Okay, we get an 11. That gives us a trapezoid. Okay, cool. Trapezoidal. All right, and then we just got to roll the unusual size of this chamber. So a 7. 7 gives us 1,300 square feet, 1,300 square feet. Not small. Okay. And then let's do number of exits. So 1,300 square feet, number of exits. We got a 10. Over 1,200 feet, there's 1 exit out of here. Interesting. And it is a passage. Okay. So what is inside the room? A 1. It's empty. Great. But what is the room? We know we were smelling the dampness, the richness of soil and earth coming from this location. So we got to keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to roll on the dungeon descriptors table here. I'm going to combine the results. So it's a D100 roll. All right, first roll. Okay, 78 gives us quiet. Okay. And 43 gives us quiet and good. Interesting. All right, so I think this is a little shrine. There's a shrine here. There's a little statue. And I wonder who it's dedicated to. Maybe we can try to figure that out. We're going to roll on the gods table here and combine the results. 99, weather. And 100, worshipped. Worshipped weather. So again, 0, 0, 0 in this game, for my purposes, is going to be 100. So worshipped weather. Interesting. I think Collier is going to take notice of this, and he is going to go up to it. I think this is very interesting. This dungeon under here. It's got a lot of different stuff going on. Yes, it's because we're rolling randomly, but if we lean into the abstract nature of things and try to understand it as a real space, you can get a lot out of it. So let's try to, let it be. Dungeons are wild. They're the mythic underworld. There's all sorts of stuff down here. There's, giants bowling, and there are dragons, and there are, spider queens and vampires that shouldn't be underground, but are, everything's possible in the underworld. It is a space that is beyond human understanding, and I love it that way. So in the spirit of old school games, let's keep this dungeon continuing to be abstract and strange. So yes, we can have a hall full of stained glass and that's shattered, and beyond it is abyss. And in another room, we can have like this damp, earthy, like shrine to a weather god. So I think this is let's see if there's a god of weather in the gods that Matthew Tapp gave us. I don't see anything in the current pantheon of gods that Matthew has created that I think fits what we're going for here. This is some sort of weather god. There is a deity of craftsmanship, a dwarven craftsmanship that controls lightning, but this is something more subtle than that. This is a quiet, peaceful chamber, and it is, I see it as like full of damp earth. Maybe even the stones here are sort of filled in with mud. There's a stone floor, and I think the very stones around the side are sort of, nature's reclaiming this room. Roots are growing out over the cobblestones here, and the stonework on the walls, and you can see plant life poking out, worms moving about. It's not creepy. It's just this sort of like this room belongs to the earth, the soil. And there's this sort of faded statue. You can't even see the face on it anymore. It looks like it's been rubbed 1,000 times. When there are sort of those lucky statues, or people consider like touching like the hand of a specific statue lucky, it always gets all the human oils all over it. Well, that's what the face of this statue is. It's like darkened and smoothed by human or whatever interaction. Something or someone or a group of people kept touching it over and over and over again for good luck or for fortune or for weather, whatever it was. And we're going to see if Kalir connects with it. I doubt he would know what it was. He's basically like an awakened plant. I don't think he understands these cultures, but let's see if he connects with it. Let's just roll under Kalir's wisdom and see if something happens here. So he sort of goes up to it, and he reaches out sort of longingly at this statue, and his hand, which sort of like forms like a vine, like wraps around the top of the head of the statue, and he sort of caresses it. So he's got to roll 12 or under. 20. No. So he gets this deep sense of despair. This deep sense of despair. This is a dead god, the god of weather, of an old world that once was, that had weather patterns like rain and sunshine and warm breezes and the pleasant thawing of winter into spring, and the life, the abundance of life that spring brings. I think he can sense that all of that is gone. And what's up above? It's radiated wasteland. It's polluted. It's degenerative. I'm sure there are areas that have like a jungle-esque feel, but I think that the general vibe is of desolation and disease. I don't think it's a necessarily, excitingly beautiful natural world up there. Everything's always a natural world, but dark things have been done by humanity or other species to absolutely eviscerate the beauty, the natural beauty of the world. And now this statue of this goddess is from a time long gone. And so he can sense the death of that god. She no longer exists, which is fitting because her face has been basically rubbed away. She's anonymous now. So no, he's not going to get anything from this statue. But we are going to maybe have a vision of what it used to be. He could sense what nature used to feel like. And it was more life-giving rather than taking away. The balance was a little bit better, maybe. So Patrick is like, "Oi, plant boy, you had enough touchy-feely, let's go." And Kalir is going to unwrap from the statue, and they're going to head out the only exit out of here, the one passage out of here. So let's smell what this passage holds for us. I'm really hoping this is the way out. Before we do that, we have to check for an encounter. It has been long enough. We have had a turn for sure here. So let's check for an encounter. Okay, we got a 2. No. So we are free and clear so far. Let's roll on the smells table here. D100. Okay, 59. Musty. Okay, promising. Okay, 76. Reassuring. Okay, I think we're heading towards the exit here. Again, that damp earth smell is continuing into the way that fall leaves all gather around a cave entrance, or it's like that smell of like when too much water and soil and dead leaves kind of gather together and they create that musty smell. That's what he's smelling right now. He's smelling that air of decay, but from plants, from plant matter. So that's a very promising thing. So we're getting closer, and we're going to sort of seed that into all of our results going forward. But right now, I want to roll to see. We want to sort of do a periodic check of where we're headed here. So we're going to roll D100 to see what's beyond this passage. 11, we get a passage turns, okay? They're going to keep moving as it turns. It's sort of starting to wind. And I see it almost starting to descend a little bit. Maybe it's like some sort of outflow, some sort of like release of if there's enough rainwater and things like that. Maybe, basically like a tunnel, like a drain system. Perhaps. We're going to see. We're going to keep rolling here. We're going to move another 30 feet. Okay, we get a 3. A door. Interesting. Door. Okay. So we're going to cozy up to the door, and we're going to have Patrick listen at the door. So Patrick has a hear noise of 2 and 6. So if there's anything beyond this door, he's got to roll a 1 or a 2 to hear it. He rolls a 6. He doesn't hear anything particularly. Is this door locked? I'm going to say it's likely, right? I mean, the random doors down in, dungeons that nobody goes near anymore, you sort of lock them and forget about them. So I'm going to say it's likely that it's locked. We'll just do a quick roll here to determine that. Chaos 6. It's likely it's locked. That's a 75. Okay. 26. So yes, it's locked. All right. So back to Patrick. He's got a open locks of 3 and 6. He pulls on it. Chum, 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 chum. Oh, shite. All right. Stand back. I've got this. And I'm assuming he got all of his stuff back after they went into the guard's post. So we're going to roll a D6. He's got to get 1, 2, or 3 to open this lock. Okay, what's he get? A 5? Ugh. Okay, so the way I play this is he fails to open the lock, which means enough time has gone by. He's having a hard time. It's frustrating. We're going to roll a encounter check. We rolled a 3. Okay, so nothing yet. Let's give him one more chance here, and if he can't do it this time, we're going to have to figure out either bashing down this door and making a lot of noise, thereby increasing our chance of an encounter, or something else. Here we go. One more chance here, Patrick. Come on, you can do it. 1, 2, or 3. 5 again. Uh-oh. And that was enough time for us to roll another encounter. 4. Okay, so not yet. We got to roll 6 for a wandering monster. So I don't think Patrick even mentions that he can't do it. Kalir sort of just like moves up and grabs his shoulder and sort of moves him out of the way. And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing? I almost have it." He's like, of course you do. And I think everybody's going to just sort of do their best to bash the shit out of this door. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to increase the chances of a monster encounter as they're trying to bash this door down. They are confident that this is the door that leads out. They want to bash it open, and they're going to start wailing on this door. Maybe Patrick even steps back and maybe fires a shot at the lock. We're going to see how quickly they can do it. So there are going to be 3 people smashing at this door. We've got Patrick, we've got Kalir, and we probably have Grak, right? In the rules, it says up to 3 people can help. So we're going to roll for each of them. We got to get at least 2 successes. We're going to roll 3. We're going to get 2 successes for this to work. All right, we got a 2 and a 5. So that was a 5. So we've got 1 success. Maybe that's Grack. He's shoving his spear in there and kind of messing with the lock. And we have a failure. We need 1 more success. And a 2. Great. It bashes open. But that means we're going to roll now. Increased chances of a monster encounter. I'm going to make this a 1, 2, 3 is no encounter. 4, 5, 6 is an encounter. 6 on the dot. Okay. Yep. We've got an encounter. Wouldn't even need increased chances for that. So the question becomes, is the encounter behind them or in front of them? I think it's in front of them personally, but we're going to do a 50-50 here. What we'll do is we'll roll on the random dungeon generator chart. We'll roll on the contents of the room table, and we'll see what's actually inside this room before we do anything. So we rolled a 10. That gives us empty. Okay. So it could be either behind us or in front of us. It's a 50-50 at this point. And neither of them is necessarily more tactically viable than the other, as far as I know right now. 50 or under, it's coming from behind them. 51 or above, it is in the room. Okay. 73, it's in the room, whatever it is. And we are on the 2nd level of this dungeon, which means the threat has increased. All right, so we're going to go back to the dungeon encounter generator from Old School Essentials, and we're going to go to level 2. Level 2. All right, we got ghouls. 5 ghouls. Holy smokes. Yikes. I don't like that at all. That's bad. That is really bad. And they are immune to charm and sleep. Oh, this is so bad. Okay. This is the way out. How the hell are we going to get out of here? Oh, that's rough. All right, so they were so focused on bashing down this door that there's a chance that they are surprised as this door flings open. We got to roll. It's just the rules. I don't want to lose our characters. I'm really in love with them, but it is what it is. It's definitely a little heartbreaking, but I don't see this going very well. Yeah, a 1. So you roll a 1 or a 2, they're surprised. So yeah, party surprise, which means that the 5 ghouls are going to get a chance here to do some damage. This could get bad very, very quickly. I'm very worried, actually. And they're immune to sleep, which is like our ace in the hole right now. And they won't stop attacking. I don't think they have. Oh, they have a morale of 9. Okay, so they don't have a morale of 12, so they won't fight to the death. But I guess it's just not looking good. That's all. It's not looking good. And we haven't even rolled initiative yet. So they get this round, and then we roll initiative, and then we see if they get to go again or if we get to go. This is a desperate moment. I'm very worried. Okay, so we got our ghouls here. There's 5 of them. At least, I think at the most, 3 are going to be able to crowd the door here. And at the door that just smashed open, we've got Patrick, Grack, and Kalir. So 3 ghouls are going to move up, and 3 ghouls are going to attack. We're going to use a d6 to determine which of these 3 guys at the front here is going to receive the attacks, right? So again, we've got Patrick, Grack, and Kalir. 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, depending on how the dice rolls. So 4. So that is Patrick, right? He was 1 or 4. So Patrick is going to get hit with 1 attack. Let's see. Next attack is going to be 1. That's Patrick again. Oof. And then 6. That is Kalir, because it was Patrick, Grack, and Kalir. So it's going to be 2 attacks to Patrick, 1 attack to Kalir. Here we go. Ghouls have a THAC0 of 19. Oh my God. The first attack, they rolled 19. They hit an armor class of 0. Oh, God, this is bad. I'm really worried. I think we're going to lose Patrick. I don't want to lose Patrick. He's my favorite. Patrick has he's got an armor class of 8. That's nothing. He's got nothing. He's wearing nothing. He's going to take damage here. All right, the ghouls do 1d6 plus a chance for paralysis. So we're going to roll 1d6 here. 3 damage to Patrick. Yikes, that's half his health. And there's still another attack coming. This is bad. Okay, second attack. 18, you gotta be kidding me. Oh my, armor class 1 they hit. And again, he has an armor class 8, so they hit. Oh. All right, so Patrick just took 6 damage. He had 3. He's down. Let's see here. This is bad. Oh, this is so bad. So according to the rules, a character becomes unconscious at 0 HP, unable to act or move. Attacks against unconscious characters automatically hit. However, if a character reaches -4, they begin to bleed out at a rate of -1 HP per round. They're permanently dead at -10. So we are at -3 right now. So we're not bleeding out yet, but he's completely unconscious. We should see if he is paralyzed as well from those attacks. God, I hope Father Nicodemus can do something here. Okay, so we have to roll Patrick's saving throw. He has a base save of 16, and he has no bonuses to his paralysis. So we just need to roll 16 or better. A 1. Oh my God. Now, I mean, that's not going to be like a crit fail in this situation, but it feels like it. So he is out for the count for 2 to 8 turns. Okay, so we'll roll 2d4 here. Okay, a 3 and a 4, so 7 turns. That's 70 minutes. It's an hour and change that he is just paralyzed completely. This is bad. Okay, last attack is on Kalir. Wow, I am terrified. All right, last attack is on Kalir here, and they roll a 2. Thank God. Woof. That doesn't hit anything, which is good because Kalir's armor class is 9. And it's not very high. It's nothing, really. It's basically paper thin. So, okay, so those 3 attacks have happened. The other 2 ghouls have moved up behind those 3 ghouls. They're crowding at the door. Now we're going to determine who gets to go for this next round. This is bad. I'm really worried. We really need to win this initiative. I'm just going to make sure I do this by the rules so I don't regret it later. All right, so first thing we got to do is declare actions. Father Nicodemus, right away, he's going to be casting Turn Undead. No question about it. That's the first thing he's doing. I think Thomasin, what is Thomasin going to do? She can't do anything. She's a little girl. She's got nothing. She's wielding nothing, I think. Grak's going to fight. Grak's going to stand and fight. Thomasin has a dagger. She could possibly like move up and try to stab some of these ghouls, but I think we have to roll to see if she's got the guts to do so right now. I need everything I can get here. So I need Thomasin to fight. I think she's going to freak out seeing Patrick get slashed and bit at and going, basically being paralyzed. And I think she's going to pick up his rifle and try to fire it. I'm assuming he's reloaded it after the first combat. I think she's going to pick it up and, tears in her eyes, and she's going to try to fire it. So she's going to fire close range. Grak's going to fight. Father Nicodemus is going to cast Turn Undead, and Kalir is going to use his boarding axe and try to do some damage. I mean, we got to stand and fight here. This could be the end of our troop. That would be so sad if this was how it ended. Oh boy. Okay. Or do we run? Does Kalir try to pick up Patrick and run? Well, we got to fight for our life. We got to get out of here. We're going to roll our 2d6 here. Blue is going to be our team. Red is going to be the ghouls. And we got to just get a higher number. 1 and 1. Okay. I'm not going to be doing simultaneous combat here. That sounds like a lot. You know what? But if I re-roll and I get a lower score than the enemy, I might regret it. All right, here we go. Oh no. This is bad. The ghouls go first. We rolled a 3, they rolled a 5. This is bad. This is so bad. Oh no. Shoot. All right, so 3 ghouls at the door, and one of them's gonna step forward into the space where Father Nicodemus is, I suppose. You know, I think they're keeping Thomason behind them to protect her. So we've got Father Nicodemus, Grack, and Kalir. So 1, 2, and 3 / 4, 5, 6. So we've got 3 attacks here. So we rolled a 5. That's Grack. We rolled a 4. That's Father Nicodemus. And we rolled a 2. That's Grack again. Yikes. Okay, so let's do some attacks here. We'll do the 2 attacks against Grack first. Oh my God. A 19 and a 17. Jesus. Those are definitely going to hit. Grack has a armor class of 7. Those are absolutely hitting him. So let's roll 2d6. 6 damage he takes. Okay, well, he has 8 health. So he's got 2 left. Okay, and let's roll to determine if he is paralyzed by either of those attacks. He is. He's paralyzed by both. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, wait. I rolled a 14. Oh, but the other one failed. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he has +2 to his paralysis save, but that doesn't matter because the other one was a 7 or whatever. It was not nearly enough. So he's paralyzed by both of those 2. Grack goes down 2. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And the 3rd attack was on Father Nicodemus. This cannot hit. This cannot hit. This cannot hit. This cannot hit. This is everything. Oh, God, an 8. Why are they rolling they're rolling 18s and 19s and 17s. This is crazy. Oh, God, Father Nicodemus. I hope he doesn't go down because that's basically it. I mean, we're done. We're out. We are out of here. It's over. Father Nicodemus has he's got 4 HP. He's done. He's done. 4. Yeah. So he's 0 now. And does he have... He does not save the paralysis save. So Father Nicodemus goes down. Patrick's down. Grack's down. This is bad. I think Thomason is screwed. I think she already declared her action. She's going to grab the musket and fire. And that's what she's going to do. And she doesn't have to roll for it. But it is now our initiative. And now it's basically Kalir and Thomason fighting for their lives. We declared actions. We declared they were going to fight. So let's do Kalir first. Okay, Kalir gets +1 to hit. Okay, he rolls a 16. He rolls a 17 total. His THAC0 is 19, which means he hits an armor class of 2. Ghouls have an armor class of 6, so he's going to hit one of these ghouls. And it's going to be for D8 +1. So 1d8 +1 damage. 5 damage total. Ghouls have 1d12 health. Jeez, this is bad. I know I keep saying this, but I'm panicking. I love these characters. I hate this. Okay, that's a 5. Man, I shouldn't have invested so much story into them. This game is brutal. All right, so this ghoul has 5 health. So now let's roll a d8 +1 to determine how much damage this boarding axe that Kalir is swinging does. All right, so 5 +1, 6, which is more than the total health of the ghoul. He slams his boarding axe down into the skull, cracks it open. Rotten blood and guts go all over the wall and Kalir. He doesn't seem to notice. He doesn't have eyelids, so he doesn't blink. And the ghoul goes down underneath his boarding axe. Then Thomason's up, and she's going to fire her musket here. Okay, she doesn't have to roll because it's a magic musket, but we're going to roll anyway to see if we get a crit. No, we rolled a 4. So she's going to fire here, and it does 2 to 10 damage. So this other ghoul, how much health does he have? Oh, he also has 5. That's nice. Okay. So hopefully we can do some gnarly damage here. We're going to roll a D10, and the least we can get is a 3, and the most we can get is a 10. 7. Nice. And it absolutely hits. The Scalagun comes to the rescue. Boom. This ghoul's head explodes as Thomason, I think she shoves it right up against the base of its skull and pulls the trigger, and it, boom, explodes. And it's this beautiful mist of blue and red, and it goes everywhere. It goes all over Thomason, and she's probably wearing a Puritan white dress, and it just gets showered in blood and guts. It's awesome. And she has this like first moment of like that animal breathing, that bloodthirsty, like I don't care, I will survive sort of feeling in her. She's experiencing trauma, and it's coming out as her determination to live. Her friends are dying around her. So two ghouls go down immediately. That's pretty dope. I want to roll a morale check here. Let's see if I can. According to the rules, can I roll a morale check here for these ghouls? Man, that would be so great. I have to roll over a 9 on 2d6. That's going to be really hard. Oh, man. This sucks. But I think the 2 deaths in a row plus that magic explosion is going to trigger some sort of morale here. So we got to try. Oh, my gosh. We got an 11. We did it. Whoa. This is great. All right, so we trigger the morale. They're going to flee. These ghouls are going to flee. So they see the explosion of the scalagun go off. Boom. And the head explodes of this ghoul. This ghoul's head explodes and skull and brain matter go everywhere. And they sort of like are staggered in all of that blue light. It's sort of, a magic moment has happened. Something that could destroy them. And very easily, they're suddenly aware of it, and it's really big and loud as well. It's a gun going off. And so they have a morale of 9. I mean, we think of them as mindless undead, but ghouls apparently have a desire to live, or live. And so they are going to flee. So this is great. And I'm going to rule that I think that, Kalir's going to get another swing at one of these guys as they're running. Let's see if he can hit. He rolls a 10 plus 11. That's going to be hits an armor class of 8. That's not going to do it. So he just sort of swings and he's like, run, you cowards. So they flee. I don't know where they run off to, but they run to some exit and they're out. That's amazing. But now we're covered in guts, blood. I think Thomason's hyperventilating. Her friends are could be dead at her feet. She doesn't know, but we've got 3 characters here who are completely paralyzed. Grack, Father Nicodemus, and Patrick P. Porkpie are all paralyzed. This is bad. How are we going to get out of this? Well, tune in next time to find out. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Patreon and Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to your podcasts. Give us a review. It really means so much. It goes so far, especially the follows, subscribes, all those things. So thank you again for watching. So excited to continue this adventure. It's looking pretty grim. I'm not going to lie, but we're going to find a way out. All right, guys. See you in the next one.